Hey guys, what is up? This is Kendra with Signing Agent Basics coming to you with another live stream this March of 2026. Guys, you know I love coming to you guys live, sharing training and information with you to help each and every one of you become a more productive and profitable signing agent. I'm going to assume that most of you know who I am, but just in case you don't, my name is Kendra Lewis. I am a signing agent in the state of Texas, and I've actually been a full-time signing agent since 2007. So that means I've been doing this full-time. This has been my full-time career, paying the bills for about 19 years now. Next year will be 20 years. That's crazy to me to think that I have been doing this that long. But I'm saying that to let you guys know that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a Johnny come lately. I'm not somebody who became a signing agent last month, last year, a couple of years ago. I've been a signing agent and making this signing agent thing work to pay my bills for the last 20 years almost. And so when I share information with you guys, again, I'm doing it with the hope that it will help you to not have to go through some of the things that I went through to figure out how to be successful as a signing agent and to help you catapult your career as a signing agent, because this doesn't have to be a side gig. This doesn't have to be a side hustle. This can be your main job, employment, source of income. But it only works if you work it. Again, this isn't a side hustle. This isn't a side gig. You have to be dedicated to doing this signing agent thing right. So there are a few videos, a few topics that I go over every single year to make sure that all new and aspiring signing agents have the information that they need to be successful. And this is one of those videos. In this video training, I am going to teach you how to explain loan documents. Now, this is probably one of the biggest hurdles, one of the biggest fears that a lot of new and aspiring signing agents have. They're like, hey, I want to be a signing agent, but I really don't know that much about real estate documents, mortgage documents. How do I learn how to go over these documents with signers? And this is the video that you need to watch. Make sure you save it. Make sure you bookmark it. Make sure that you download the free information that I'm going to have to you, because with this video, you are going to learn how to explain those pesky loan documents. But before we get into that, guys, thank you very much again for joining with me. Whether you are watching live or you are watching on the replay, I appreciate you just for watching this video. So whether you are watching it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are watching at, do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that thumbs button, hit that heart button, whatever button it is on the format that you are watching on. Go ahead and hit that button. Then do me a favor, come on over to YouTube, hit the like button, then make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Guys, I go live once a month with great training and information for you. And when you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, you get notified so that you don't miss it. Again, there is nothing wrong with watching the replay, but if you are able to watch it live, that's even better, because I always have a Q&A session at the end where you can ask your questions and get answers live. Also, guys, you know I love to know where each and every one of you are joining me from. So again, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, do me a favor, go down to the chat, go down to the comments, and tell me a few things. I want to know, what city and state are you from? Where are you a notary? Where are you aspiring to be a signing agent at? Let me know what city and state you are from. Then let me know whether you are an aspiring signing agent. You aspire to be a signing agent. You haven't done any loan signings yet. You're just checking this whole thing out, want to see what it's all about. You are an aspiring signing agent. Or if you are a new signing agent, you've been a signing agent for 1 year or less, or you are a veteran signing agent. You've been doing this thing for more than a year. So again, go down in the chat, go down in the comments, let me know what city and state you are in, and then let me know if you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. Let's see, we've got folks here. from everywhere. We've got Linda saying hello, great to see you. People saying, hey, we got my people. My Texas people always show up. I appreciate you guys supporting me here in Texas. We've got Rhonda. She is an Alabama notary. Good to see you. We've got Maribel from Central Florida. Again, if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I live in Texas, but I am originally from Florida. We got more of my Texas people here in the house. Folks are here from Washington State, Oregon, another person from Florida, more Texas people. We've got California people. We've got aspiring signing agents that are watching, aspiring signing agents in the ATL, Atlanta watching. Guys, keep on telling me what city and state you are from, and keep on telling me whether you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. Then guys, do me another favor. If you happen to be watching the live stream, I always have people that come in a little bit late and they're concerned because they've missed something, and they always want to know whether or not a replay of the video is available. And the answer to that question is yes. The replay will be available of the full live stream immediately after the live stream. So if you guys happen to see anybody come in and ask whether or not a replay is going to be available, be my assistant. Let them know, yes, the replay will be available immediately after the live stream. And again, guys, there will be a Q&A session at the end of the video. If you can, try your best to hold your questions until that Q&A session. I try to answer all of the questions on the live stream. And again, if you are watching on the replay, or if I miss your question during the live stream, I also always try to go back through the comments and through the chat to answer any questions that I missed. But again, if you can, hold your questions until the end of the live stream so that we can do it in the Q&A session. Another thing, guys, you know I got freebies for you. You know I got the free sample documents and the free scripts for you. And I know you want to know where you got to go to get those freebies. Well, first, the link to download all the freebies that I'm going to talk about today, as well as that free script, are going to be in the description box of the YouTube video. So again, if you're watching this on Facebook, or if you're watching this on LinkedIn, make sure that you come over to the YouTube video. And then you need to go to the description box. A lot of people are like, well, where the heck is the description box? So if you are watching this on your laptop or desktop computer, you're going to see the video. Underneath the video, you're going to see the title of the video. And then you're going to see a little bit of the description box, and you will see the word more. Click on the word more to open up the description box. Then, if you are like most of us and you're watching this on your cell phone or another mobile device, you have to just do a couple of steps. So first, again, on the YouTube video, look underneath the video, look underneath the title of the video. You're going to see the word more. Click on the word more. It's going to open up the description box a little bit. And then you will see the word more again. Click on the word more again. And then once you do that, when you click more either once or twice, the full description box is going to open. And then you are going to see the links to all of the different things that I have for you. To get those freebies, you're going to click on the link. You'll have to give your name and email address, and then you will be able to download all of the different freebies that I have for you. So what are some of those freebies? The first freebie that I always do is my free new signing agent checklist. Guys, if you are an aspiring signing agent or a new signing agent, make sure that you download this free new signing agent checklist. People always want to know, hey, what do I need to do to be a signing agent? Step by step. What are the steps? What do I need to do? Well, this checklist tells you step by step everything that you need to do to become a signing agent. So if you are a new or an aspiring signing agent, make sure that you download that checklist. I also have my free AI guide for notaries. Guys, AI, things like ChatGPT and Claude and all that different stuff can be amazing, amazing tools in your notary and in your signing agent business. But if you haven't used them before, and especially if you have not used them for your notary or signing agent business, there's a little bit of a learning curve. So this AI guide teaches you what you need to know to be able to use AI like ChatGPT and Claude effectively for your notary and signing agent business. So make sure that you download that free AI guide for notaries. And of course, guys, I've got my free sample documents and script down in the description box as well. That's what I'm going to be going over today in this video. So make sure that you download it, you print it out so that you can use it to help you practice as you are becoming a better signing agent. All right, let's jump right on in, guys. And again, we are going to talk about explaining loan documents. So again, first, I want to remind people that on my channel with Signing Agent Basis, when I talk about being a signing agent or a loan signing agent, I am specifically talking about mortgage and real estate transactions. So whether I call it a signing agent, loan signing agent, certified signing agent, whatever, I am specifically talking about mortgage and real estate documents, not general notary work, not any of those other things, specifically mortgage and real estate documents. I also want to add that what I'm going to go over is my opinion of how to explain loan documents. But again, guys, it's based off of my 19 plus years of experience. If you ask another signing agent, you got a friend who's a signing agent, they may do it a different way. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Tomato, tomato. There's more than one way to skin a cat, but this is how I have done it. And this is the way that I found that makes my signings go super smooth, super easy. I don't get a lot of questions from signers. They feel happy and comfortable about the process when I go over the documents the way I am going to teach you to go over the documents in this video. But again, this is my opinion. All right. I don't know if you guys have heard that saying, but opinions are like rear ends. Everybody has one and they usually stink. So again, there is no right or wrong as long as you are not stepping into the lane of a lawyer or a licensed loan officer, escrow officer, real estate agent, etc. As long as you're not going through things that you shouldn't, as long as you're not telling them things that only their loan officers tell them, it doesn't matter. You can do this however you want, as long as you are not stepping into any of those other lanes. And guys, the information in this video is just basic information. I'm going over the basics to help get you started. If you want more than the basics, you will need to sign up for my Signing Agent Advanced Training Program. I'll always have somebody in the comments, well, that's just 5 documents and there's a bunch of documents in the package. I know. If you want to learn how to describe all the rest of those documents, sign up for my Signing Agent Advanced Training Program. This video is going to go over just the basics. But guys, I'm telling you, just knowing these basics, the way that I'm going to teach you in this video is going to make you better than half of the signing, probably more than that, but I'm going to be nice and say it's going to make you better than half the signing agents out there. It's definitely going to make you better than the signing agents who were never taught this. So even though this is the basics, this is very valuable information. Okay, so I also want to go over the difference in expectations and kind of job descriptions between a notary public, a mobile notary, and a loan signing agent. So as you see this pyramid, guys, we've got notary public at the bottom. Now, again, nothing wrong with being quote unquote just a notary public. A loan signing agent is a notary public. A mobile notary is a notary public. Being a notary public is the base of this triangle. You have to be a notary public in order to be a loan signing agent. But as you add more skills, you kind of take yourself higher up into the hierarchy. So a notary public is an official of integrity that is appointed by state government to serve the public as an impartial witness in performing a variety of official fraud deterrent acts related to the signing of important documents. A notary public verifies a person's identity, and then they verify their willingness to sign a particular document. Notaries public hold a very, very crucial role in our society and with our public, because again, the basic role of a notary public is to verify a person's identity. The person who's signing a document, verify their identity. Are they who they claim to be? Number one. And then you verify their willingness to sign a document. They're not being forced. They're not being coerced. They are signing this document of their free will. That is what a notary public does. Now, a mobile notary is one step up from a notary public. A mobile notary is a notary public who will travel to the signer. Duties may also include things like printing out documents, returning or shipping signed and notarized documents if requested. So a mobile notary just adds a little bit more value. They add more services to what they do. With a notary public, people are just coming to you. Once you become a mobile notary, you are agreeing to meet them at a separate location of their choosing. And again, you can also provide other services like printing out documents, taking the signed documents to be shipped back, that kind of thing. A mobile notary adds more services to the notary public role. And then the next step, the top step on that pyramid, was loan signing agent. So a loan signing agent is a notary public. A loan signing agent is a mobile notary. So they are a mobile notary public who has additional loan or mortgage document training. They are usually expected to use this training to give signers a description of the documents they are signing. So again, a notary public who has no loan signing agent training can notarize documents in a mortgage package. There's nothing wrong with that. A mobile notary can notarize documents in a loan signing package. There is nothing wrong with that. But the difference is a loan signing agent doesn't just notarize the documents. They are able to give a brief description of the documents to the signers, and they're also able to point out pertinent information in those documents. That is the key difference. That is the thing that makes loan signing agents, gives them a leg up in this area. And again, guys, just like any other business, just like any other job, the more services you are able to provide, the more specialized you get in a particular area. That usually means that you are able to demand more money. So these are just totally fake, made up numbers here that I got here. But again, this kind of gives an example. An assigning where a mobile notary, or a notary public might just make $50. If you are now willing to go to the signer, you can charge $100 because you're adding more services. You're adding the service of actually going to the signer to the notarization. And then if you are willing to go to the signer and you are also able to give a description of the documents and point out certain things in the documents, you can charge more money for that additional service. So when it comes to loan signings, one of the ways to make the most money possible is to be a signing agent. It is to be able to explain or describe the documents to the signers. People are going to pay you more for having that skill or that service. I wouldn't pay a mobile notary who doesn't know how to describe the documents as much as I would pay a loan signing agent who does know how to describe the documents. Because again, the loan signing agent is providing more services. They are providing more skill than the mobile notary or the notary public does. Now, another thing that I want to go over before we get to the scripts, before we get to the documents, there is a difference between explaining documents and describing documents. And even though I use the word explain in my title, what we do is not explaining the document. So let me tell you what the difference is. Explaining is telling people why something happens. So some of the questions that you will get that require an explanation in a loan signing is, why is this my interest rate? Or why do I have to bring this much money to closing? Those type of questions require an explanation. We don't explain. As the signing agent, I can't tell you why that's your interest rate. As the signing agent, I cannot tell you why you had to bring that much money to closing. Those are questions that have to be answered by their licensed loan officer or their licensed mortgage broker. We as notaries, as signing agents, do not carry that type of license. So we cannot explain why. But What we can do is describe or point out. And those questions usually begin with the word what. So the type of questions that you can answer or should be able to answer as a signing agent will usually start with the word what. So some examples of those are, what is my interest rate? What is my payment? What is my first payment date? In the loan package, there are specific documents that have those answers on them. And you should be able to point out what their interest rate is on a couple of different documents. You should be able to point out what their payment is on a couple of different documents. You should be able to point out what their first payment date is on a document or two. And knowing where to find those answers and being able to point them out, again, is the thing that allows you to charge more money as a loan signing agent. So technically, the title of this video should be how to describe loan documents. But I use the word explain because that's what most people say, because they don't really understand the difference between explaining and describing. But again, we don't explain documents, we describe or point out. Again, the easiest way to kind of think about it is we cannot answer why questions. When a signer asks you, why is something this way? We cannot answer that. But if they ask you what something is, if the answer to that question is in the document, we can point it out to them. All right. So guys, this is very, very important, especially if you are a new or an aspiring signing agent. A lot of new and aspiring signing agents get themselves in trouble because they try to answer questions that they are not licensed to answer. And you may say, well, what do I do if they ask me a question like a why question? What do I do? You tell them you need to ask that of your loan officer. If you're asking why is that your interest rate, you need to ask your loan officer. Let them call the loan officer. If there's another question, sometimes they need to talk to their real estate agent. Sometimes they need to talk to the escrow officer at the title company. If you're in an attorney state, sometimes they need to talk to the attorney. They need to talk to somebody else to answer those why questions. And it is perfectly fine for you as the signing agent to say, hey, I'm not licensed to answer that question. You need to call your loan officer, your real estate agent, your escrow officer. They will be able to help you with that question. All right. So now the different things that, in my opinion, I feel like every loan signing agent should be able to point out are things like loan amount, cash due at closing, interest rate, principal and interest portion of their payment, total payment with escrows for taxes and insurance, first payment date, scheduled last payment date, whether or not there is a prepayment penalty, the late fee terms, if there are any late fee terms. You should be able to point out who is on the deed, whose name is on the title to the house. What is the scheduled funding date? What that means is after I sign, when is this whole thing going to be completed? That's the scheduled funding date. The right to cancel terms. If there is a right to cancel, you should be able to point out their right to cancel terms. Escrow account details, things about their taxes and insurance. There's usually a form in the package that talks about those details. And you should also be able to point out closing costs on the closing disclosure or the HUD-1 settlement statement. So if you are new and aspiring and you're looking at this like, oh Lord, I don't even know what half of those things are, let alone how to point them out. This is telling you that you need to get training as a loan signing agent. I know a lot of people out there are like, hey, just fake it till you make it. Just go out and just do it. You will be okay. But guys, I'm telling you, first of all, you're not going to be okay because you're going to get lots of questions. So you need to be trained on how to find the answers properly to those questions. And the other thing is, guys, it is so disrespectful to practice on somebody's actual mortgage transaction, their sale, their refinance, their purchase, their HELOC. It is extremely disrespectful to practice and learn on somebody's real transaction because this is real money. This is real time. These are real properties, and you can cause real problems with these transactions if you are not properly trained and if you don't know what you're talking about. So guys, please don't try faking it till you make it. Please get real training to learn how to describe documents to the signers. Okay, so again, in my opinion, there are 5 documents that will provide the answer to all of those things or most of those things that I just pointed out on that list. The answers to questions that signers most want to know can generally be found on 5 documents. And those are the documents that I'm going to give you the script for, okay? So what are those documents? All right. The first one is called the Notice of Right to Cancel. Now, this document is not going to be in every package. The Notice of Right to Cancel is only on some transactions, and those are generally refinances of a person's primary mortgage. So, Notice of Right to Cancel is one of the documents, but it won't be in all the packages. So sometimes you only need to know 4 documents. The next document that you'll need to know how to describe is the closing disclosure. Then you need to know how to describe the note. The next document you need to know how to describe is the payment letter. And the last document you'll need to know how to describe is the deed of trust. Guys, if you are able to describe these documents, if you are able to point out the important information on these documents answer 90%, if not more, of the questions that signers will have. I go over these 5 documents first on every single loan signing that I do. And when I go over these documents first, and when I describe them the way that I'm going to show you, when I point out things on these documents the way that I'm going to show you, I usually don't have hardly any questions on any of the rest of the documents because, again, these are the documents that answer the most important questions that signers have. All right. So now we're going to actually look at sample documents. And guys, these are the documents that you will have opportunity to download. So again, if you need to download the sample documents with the script, make sure that you come over to this YouTube video, look down in the description box, click on the link, and download this sample set of documents. And then once you download it, practice it. You need to practice saying the things that I say in this video. Practice in front of real people. Practice with the documents upside down, because that's another important thing, guys. When you're doing loan signings, the documents need to be facing the signers. So you need to learn how to point out and describe these things when the documents are upside down to you. But all right, first document that we're going to take a look at, and this is literally what I say to the signers. First document we're going to take a look at is your Notice of Right to Cancel. It lets you know that the signing is taking place on, and in this sample, it's February 11th. It also lets you know that you have until February the 14th to cancel. If you decide to cancel, you would read this section and sign here if you wanted to cancel. But since you don't want to cancel today, you are going to sign and date here saying that you are aware of your right to cancel and you have received completed copies of this document. So that's document number 1. That's how I describe the Notice of Right to Cancel and point out the pertinent information in that document. So the next document that I go over is the closing disclosure. So again, if I'm talking to the signers, I will let them know this is your closing disclosure. It shows the amount of your new loan, your interest rate, the principal and interest portion of your payment. This is your total payment, including any escrows for taxes or insurance. This was the total of your closing cost. And this is the amount of cash that you have due at closing. Just need signature and date on this last page. All right. So that's the closing disclosure. That answered a bunch of different questions that the signer has. And as you see, it's very simple. I'm pointing out the pertinent information. I'm not making anything up. I'm pointing at the actual information that is on the document. So the next document that I go over with signers is the note. So I'll tell them, Mr. and Mrs. Signer, this is the note. It shows the amount of your new loan, your interest rate, your first payment date, April 1st, your scheduled last payment date, it's in 2056, so this is a 30-year loan. Principal and interest portion of your payment. Again, this does not include escrows for taxes or insurance. It lets you know in this section that you do have the right to prepay the loan. You can pay it off early without paying a prepayment charge. Your payments are due on the 1st, but you have until the 15th to get them in. After the 15th, there will be a 4% late charge. This is a fixed rate loan, so that means that the principal and interest portion of your payment and your interest rate will not change. So I just need signatures from the both of you here on this last page. So that was the note. That document is usually several pages long. You will have to flip through to find the different things that I've shown you. But again, you're going to find the pertinent information and point it out to the signers. You're not making anything up. You're not guessing. You're not explaining. You are pointing out information that is on the document. All right. So the next document that I go over with the signers is their first payment letter. And I'll let them know. This document, again, shows the total amount of your payment, including what your lender is collecting for your escrows for taxes and insurance. Just need signature and date from the both of you here. Super simple, very easy. Hopefully you guys are seeing how easy this can be when you have somebody walk you through what it is that you need to say. All right. So then the last document, the fifth document in my top 5 is the deed of trust. So again, I'll tell the signers, this is your deed of trust. This is the document that gets filed with the county showing the two of you as the owners of record on the property. It also lets you know that your mortgage company has a lien on the property. Just need signatures from the both of you on this last page. Now, the deed of trust is usually a bunch of pages. It can be anywhere from 10 to 25 pages. You're not going over all that stuff. You're not explaining anything. Again, you're just giving them a brief description of the document and pointing out the pertinent information in the document. Now, even though you're only pointing out a few pages, you're still going to put the entire document in front of the signers. The information that I'm pointing out to them may only be on page 1. But I'm going to sit that whole stack of 20 pages in front of them. I'm going to point the information out. I'm going to point out where they need to sign. They absolutely have the right to read through anything in that document. And then if they say, what does this mean? What is this? Why is this? You are going to refer them to their loan officer. Again, we don't answer what questions. We can only point out information in the documents. But guys, honestly, by the time I get to this document and I give them that brief explanation where I'm telling them that this gets filed with the county, showing them as the owners of the property, 99% of the time, I don't get any other questions from the signer. But again, they absolutely have the right to read through the document. So guys, those are the top 5 documents. That was super simple. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay. Let me know. Was that simple? Or was that complicated? Let me know if you thought that was easy or if you thought that was hard. Let me know if after giving that explanation to you guys, if after showing you how to do it, let me know if you feel a little more comfortable. If you feel like, you know what, I think I can do this. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. But guys, some simple things that I want to remind you about this script. This script, And the sample documents that are used in this example are for a fixed rate purchase or a refinance. If it's a purchase, the notice of right to cancel won't be in the package. If it's a refinance, the notice of right to cancel might be in the package. But these are sample documents for a fixed rate purchase or refinance on a loan where the signer has money due at closing. Keep in mind, every loan, every signing is going to be different. So you're going to need to adjust what you say to match the information on the actual document. So for example, if it's a closing where they don't have any money due at closing, when I get to that line, I'm going to point out that they don't have any money due at closing. At closing where they're going to get money back at closing. So when I get to that line, I'm going to tell them this is the amount of money you are going to receive back out of this transaction. So you need to pay attention to your actual set of documents and adjust what you say to match the information on the actual document. So again, things like dates, interest rate, loan amount, money due at closing, all of that good stuff are going to be a little bit different on your transaction. Let's see. Yep. Simple. I'm telling you guys, if you follow what I have on the script, it is super simple. And again, if you go over these 5 documents first, you will not have nearly as many questions on the rest of the package. Okay, some other things, guys, that I want you to remember about signings when you are doing signings. Signers need to sign their names the way it is printed. So what do I mean by that? Let's say they have the signer's full name. Let's say the signer's name is Mary Jane Smith. That's what they have printed on the line underneath. She needs to sign Mary Jane Smith, not Mary J. Smith, not M. Jane Smith. She needs to sign Mary Jane Smith. And guys, I'm going to tell you, that is usually the hardest part of every signing, because most of the time, the way the person's name is printed on the documents is not the way that the person normally signs their name. So you need to pay attention, especially on those first 1 or 2 signatures, or if you have your notary journal, watch how they sign your notary journal and let them know if they sign it a different way. Hey, your lender is requiring that you sign your name the way it is printed. I know it's not the way that you normally do it. I know it feels a little uncomfortable, but you can't sign Mary J. Smith. I need you to sign Mary Jane Smith. And then some people are going to argue with you about it. If they start arguing, call the company that hired you. Because again, I tell people all the time as the notary, I'm not lending you any money. I don't care how you sign. It's your lender that cares. But you know what? Let's call your loan officer. If they say it doesn't matter, then cool. You can sign it however you want. But that way, you get the lender or the title company on the line. And if the lender or the title company is adamant about them signing their name the way it is printed, let them be the bad guy. Let them be the one to tell the signer, so sorry, you got to sign it this way. So again, guys, in general, signers need to sign their names the way it is printed on the document. The next thing you want to make sure that you pay attention to, make sure that the signers sign the correct line on the notice of right to cancel. Because again, there's a couple of signature lines. One of those signature lines say that they want to cancel. If they sign on the line that says they want to cancel, that cancels the transaction. It doesn't matter if you've signed every other document in that package. So always be very careful. Make sure that they only sign the correct line on the notice of right to cancel. Another thing that you need to pay attention to, if the signer has money due at closing, make sure that you follow whatever instructions are provided to collect those funds. The instructions may say that a personal check is okay. The instructions may say, nope, we don't want a personal check. It has to be a cashier's check. If it's a cashier's check is required and the signer tries to give you a money order, that won't work. They might say, we will only accept a wire. So if they try to give you a cashier's check and the instructions say we will only accept a wire, this needs to be figured out. So if they try to give you those funds in a way that is different than the instructions say, then again, you need to contact the company that hired you while you are at the table to figure out how to get the money correctly to the correct place. Another thing, guys, that you need to make sure that you're paying attention to, only date documents that ask for a date. There are some documents that say under the signature line, signature and date, and there are some that just say signature. If the line does not ask for a date, do not date it. That is very, very important. It's considered an error if you allow the signers to date a document and a space where it does not ask for a date. So only date documents that ask for a date. And then, guys, always pay attention to see if it is required for the buyer or the borrower to initial the bottom of certain pages. A lot of times on the deed of trust, those have to be initialed on every page. Sometimes on the note, those have to be initialed. So make sure that you check the bottom of all pages to see whether or not initials are required. And again, guys, I want to point out, this is why signing agent training is important. Now, if you just want to be a notary public or a mobile notary, cool. If you don't want to describe anything, that is fine. But realize part of what makes you a signing agent is having that additional knowledge and training to be able to describe documents and point out different things in the documents. And for most of you who are not coming from a mortgage or a real estate background, you don't understand these documents enough to be able to describe them and to be able to point things out. But guys, one of the things that I did before I was a signing agent, I was a mortgage loan officer and a mortgage loan processor for over 7 years. Because people always ask me, well, who taught you about these documents? I was in the mortgage industry. I was one of those licensed people who knew about documents. So that's why I have the knowledge to be able to show you what to be able to point out to the signers. I also have the knowledge to tell you, hey, you're stepping into a loan officer's licensed reign. Don't do that because you are not licensed to do that. So I'm going to show you the things that you can say and also teach you the things that you cannot or should not say so that you don't get in trouble. Again, guys, this is not a fake it till you make it. This is not a, oh, well, just do some and you will figure it out. No, what you're going to be doing is messing up people's mortgages, okay? And again, we want to be respectful of people's time. You would be upset if you were closing on a home and a signing agent who absolutely had no idea what they were doing showed up to your signing and basically messed up your documents. And then you're having to go back and forth and get things re-signed and fixed and corrected. And what should have been a fun and exciting day purchasing or refinancing or selling a property ends up being a headache because the person who came out to do the signing did not have the proper training. So guys, if this is something that you want to do, please invest in yourself and invest in your business to get good signing agent training. And of course, I'm going to recommend my Signing Agent Advanced Training Program because training to be a successful signing agent is more important than ever. People love to say, oh, you know, the signing agent market is saturated. There's a lot of signing agents out there, but there's not a lot of good signing agents out there. There are not a lot of well-trained signing agents out there. And all you have to do to get business is be good, be better than the rest, be well-trained. And that's what my Signing Agent Advanced Training Program is going to give you. I'm going to give you all of the information you need step by step to get started as a signing agent. I'm going to teach you the basics of notary law because, again, we are notaries public. So you have to be able to notarize documents properly to be a signing agent. So again, I'm going to teach you the basics of what you need to know in notary law to be able to complete notarizations properly. I'm going to teach you how to get direct business. Nothing wrong with working with signing services, but they take a part of the money. Okay. If I'm going to do a signing, I want all the money. I don't want a part of the money. I want all of the money. Instead of making $150, you may only make 75 or 80 bucks if you got the signing through a signing service. So I teach you how to get direct business. I teach you how to avoid making mistakes, both as a notary and as a signing agent. Because here's the other thing. When you get assignments from a company, they're paying attention to whether or not you are making mistakes. And if you make too many mistakes or really one or two mistakes on the first couple of packages that they send you, they're going to stop sending you business because it costs them time and money to correct the mistakes that you made. So I teach you what those most common mistakes are and how to avoid them so you can send packages back error-free so that you can continue to get business from the companies that you're getting business from. And guys, I am a mentor that you can actually reach out to for assistance. People who are in the exclusive or the elite levels of my signing agent advanced training program have access to me 24/7 in our private Facebook group. They have access to me via email 24/7. And we also have monthly group Zoom Q&A sessions where I answer all of the questions that they have live in those Q&A sessions as well. And again, guys, 24/7, I've got people who've been in my signing agent advanced training program since 2020 who still occasionally reach out to me with questions or ask for advice and all of that good stuff. So you get a real mentor who is here to help you. This isn't a monthly subscription. You pay one time and you got access to the training for forever. So if you want details about my signing agent advanced training program, go down into the description box to click the link to check it out. Woo! All right. Well, hopefully, guys, that was helpful for you. We are now in the Q&A, the question and answer session of this live stream. So if you are watching live and you have a question, go ahead, put it in the chat. If you are watching the replay and you have a question, go ahead, put it in the comments. I'm going to do my best to go back and answer any questions. And there were actually a few questions that were posted before the live stream even started. So this question was, what is the fastest way to become confident explaining buyer, seller, refinance, and HELOC loan packages before my first signings? So guys, the first thing to do is to get a mentor or a trainer like me to give you scripts to teach you what to say. So that way you're not making anything up. You're not missing what's important. You're getting the scripts ahead of time. And then the second thing is to practice, practice, practice. You're not going to be confident if you don't practice. Watching me say this one time is not going to be enough for you to be able to say the information with confidence at a signing. So download the sample documents, go over the scripts, and then practice, practice, practice. Use your friends and family to act like pretend signers. Practice reading it and pointing these things out upside down. Practicing the scripts with the sample documents is going to be the best way for you to become confident explaining the documents. And then the other question was, what were the first few loan document signing agents should study so you don't get overwhelmed? The 5 documents that I just went over. I'm telling you guys, if you go over those 5 documents, that is going to answer the majority of the questions that signers have. Will signers have some other questions? Possibly, maybe, but I promise you, these 5 documents will answer the majority of the questions that signers have. Let's see. Do you point out the documents in the order that I stated? Yes, this is the order that I actually go through. So again, if it is a refinance with a notice of right to cancel, I go over the right to cancel first. Because again, it lets people know, hey, even after signing all of these documents, you still have the right to cancel this whole transaction. So I go over that document first. Then I go over the closing disclosure. Then I go over the note. Then I go over the payment letter. Then I go over the deed. Every single time for the past 19 years, every single signing. I can't tell you how many tens of thousands of signings that has been at this point. Those are the documents that I go over first. And that is the order of the documents that I go over first. If the company that you're working with does not want you to move the documents around, that's okay. Just put a sticky note or something on those documents and turn to them so that you can go over those documents first. You don't have to pull them out of order to be able to go over them first. Then once you have those first 5 documents signed, start from the top. And any documents that you've already signed, just skip over them. But yes, I absolutely go over those first 5 documents first. Let's see. Do you have to negotiate with direct clients like you would with signing services, or do direct clients normally pay the standard fee for loan packages? There is no standard fee. Every company has its own budget that they have allotted for the notary or for the signing agent. So you can't assume that a company is going to pay you a certain amount. You can't assume that they're going to pay you a fair amount. You have to negotiate every single time. Now, with direct business clients, A lot of times you can make more money, but you still have to know how to negotiate because they're not going to automatically offer you the most amount of money. You need to know how to negotiate to get the most amount of money because they're shoppers to some extent, just like us. If their budget for a signing agent is $200, but you say you only want $100, they're only going to pay you $100. They're not going to pay you more than what you say you want. So one of the things that I teach my students is how to easily and comfortably negotiate with direct business clients to get the most of their money that they have available. And again, what I say, what I do, it's super simple, just like these scripts, but it is something that I only teach my students in my Signing Agent Advanced training program. So if you need some help learning how to negotiate for the most money with direct business clients, make sure you click that link for my Signing Agent Advanced training program. All right, look, great advice going over these documents first. Tab it, no need to pull it out. Absolutely. You know, I think we kind of get in the habit of doing things a particular way. People think that you have to physically move the documents around. You do not. Put a sticky tab on it, turn to it, and then put the documents back in the order. Because we do have some clients that don't want you to move the documents around. They don't want you to shuffle the documents around. But that does not mean that you have to describe or go through the documents in the order that they provided to you. So glad that that helped you out. A little tip for you guys to let you know how to go over those first 5 documents first. Glad that that made sense to you. Absolutely. Guys, if you got any other questions, now is the time. Put them down in the chat. But again, please make sure that you download those sample documents and those scripts. Because again, guys, this is what I've learned through trial and error. My first few years were my learning curve of trying to figure out what is the best way to go through this information. What do I need to say on all of these documents? And this is how I have refined it over these years. Again, guys, when I go over these first 5 documents first, when I say the information exactly the way that I've got it printed in those scripts for you, the majority of my signings go simple and easy. I generally don't have any problems. Signers generally don't ask a whole bunch of questions. They generally don't even feel like reading through a whole bunch of the stuff because I've already pointed out the most important information to them. That also helps them to feel confident with you. They feel comfortable, like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. When you're not able to point things out, it makes the signers nervous. And that's part of what makes signers feel like, oh, I got to read every single line of every single page. And that's what makes your signings take longer. Because here's the deal, guys. You're going to get paid the same amount, whether the signing takes 20 minutes or 2 hours. So I personally want my signing to go as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So that is part of the reason why I also point those things out in the documents, because if I point it out ahead of time, then the signers don't have to dig through the documents themselves to try to find it. Here's another question. Do I need to print out all of the documents a day in advance and review them before I meet with the client? Well, first of all, in real life, the majority of times you are not going to get documents a day in advance. And again, I know this is one of the things that freaks new signing agents out. You are lucky if you get the documents 2 hours before the signing. But I personally don't care. The documents are all the same. There's nothing, there's always going to be a note, a CD, a payment letter, a deed. I don't need to study this ahead of time. I know those documents are in there. And again, I'm pointing and saying what it is that I'm pointing at. You don't need a day ahead of time to do that. But again, you need to study the sample scripts so that you know where the information is and you can point it out even on a set of documents that you have never looked at before. I do signings for a title office here and I meet with their clients. They have the documents already printed out. There have been times where literally the package was handed to me for the very first time as I was walking in the door of the conference room to meet with the signers. You're not going to get documents way ahead of time. The majority of the time, every now and again, you might. And whenever I do, I'm like, oh, it feels like Christmas. But the reality is most of the time, you're only going to get the documents a few hours ahead of time. So this is why you need to know what the most important documents are and what to say on those important documents. But there's really not a whole lot of reviewing that you need to do. Hopefully that helped. Check out my signing agent advanced training program. I'm telling you, because not only do I have the top 5 documents, I have entire packages. I have a simple script, a simple blurb that I say for every single document in the package. Because again, being able to point out important information, being able to give that brief description of the documents is what makes your signings go quick and easy. Awesome. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, so glad that you learned. I hope this video is helpful. Like I said, this is one of those subjects that I go over every year because I know that it is something that all new and aspiring signing agents need. Thank you so much. I try to, like I said, use my years of experience to help people who want to get into the signing agent business be successful at it. I love being a signing agent. Like I said, I've been doing it for 19 years. So obviously I like it. And so I love being able to help other people learn how wonderful this business can be. Do we offer to help facilitate the process or do we just go for it? So I don't know exactly what you mean. We're signing agents. We are hired to give a brief description of the documents, to point out certain things in the documents, and to make sure that the documents are signed, dated, and notarized properly. So that's our job. I don't know what you mean by offering to help facilitate the process, but again, we're going to stay in our lane. We're not going to do anything that we're not licensed for. We're not licensed loan officers. We're not licensed real estate agents. We're not licensed escrow officers. So you're not going to offer to do anything in that lane. If you want to just tell me a little bit more about what you mean, go for it down in the chat. Awesome. So glad that this information helped you out. Let's see, was looking into purchasing a mobile scanner, just wondering what method do I use to keep documents in order or when putting them back in order when scanning letter and legal. I use a scanner that I don't have to separate out letter and legal. So generally with scan backs, even if the document was letter size, the company doesn't care if you scan it back legal size. So if you have a scanner that is not able to differentiate between letter and legal, I would just set my scanner to all legal and I would scan everything in legal size because the scan size, page size doesn't matter so much as what the actual size of the documents are. I'm not going to go through the extra steps of scanning legal and letter size separately because that just takes a whole lot of extra unnecessary time. I would just personally scan everything in on legal size if I didn't have a scanner that can differentiate between letter and legal. My scanner can differentiate between letter and legal. So basically, leave the package in the order that it is and scan it in. Awesome. You're very welcome. So glad that this was helpful to you. Let's see. Maribel said that happened to her. She got a package after she walked into the title office. Guys, that's the business. And I'm telling you, I know it doesn't feel like it when you're new. You don't need prep time. It is literally the exact same documents over and over and over again. The only thing that changes is that person's individual numbers, their loan amount, their interest rate, their payment amount. But the rest of the stuff is the same. It's the same notice of right to cancel, the same CD, the same note, the same payment letter. It's all the same stuff. You don't need to study. This is not a test. You just need to be able to point out information in the documents and then give a brief description of the documents. Let's see, Martha. So when do you tab them? Do you take a few minutes to review to tab? I mean, it takes 30 seconds to flip through. I'm able to find documents super fast in loan packages. I mean, you're just going to flip through fast enough to go, oh, nope, there's a sticky, here's a CD, here's a note, here's a notice of right to cancel, here's the payment letter. You can usually flip through in a minute or two to find those documents. In the signings where, let's say I'm walking in and they're handing me the package, I will tell the signers, and this is the other thing, it's okay to communicate what you're doing to the signers. I will tell them, hey, there's a few documents that are more important for me to go over first. Let me flip through and find those documents. Give me a moment or so to flip through, find those documents. We'll sign those first. People are patient when you explain to them what it is that you are doing. But I mean, again, it doesn't take long to flip through a package to find the documents to tab them. It should only be a few minutes. Should the borrower receive a full copy of the loan package without signatures or a copy of signed documents or receipt that I represented the loan company? So you need to follow the instructions of the company that hired you. In general, If you are meeting a person at their home or another location for the signing, you print 2 copies of the package. You guys sign one that gets returned to the lender or the title company, and you leave the blank copy with the signers. That is what usually happens. If you are doing an in-office signing, like if I'm meeting somebody at a builder's office or a title office, we sign a copy and then they have a copy machine there. So I'm able to run it through the copy machine and give them a signed copy of the document. So it really just depends on where you're meeting the signers at and what the company that hired you requested that you do. But in general, they're either going to receive an unsigned copy, or if you happen to be somewhere where you're able to make a copy, they will receive the copy of the documents after signed. And then I don't understand what you mean on this last sentence, or a receipt that you represented the loan company. You don't really represent the loan company, okay? You are an independent contractor. You are hired by the signing service or title company to do the signer, but you don't represent the loan company, okay? You're not going to give them a receipt that you represent the loan company, because you don't represent the loan company. You are an independent contractor. You are a notary public, a signing agent that was contracted by the title company or the signing service to meet with the signer. So hopefully that answered your question. Let's see. Got it. That's awesome. Excited to get started. You can totally do this. You are very welcome. Guys, sign up for the course. I'm telling you. And I know people hate to spend money. She's just trying to get money. Guys, I'm a signing agent. I was a signing agent making plenty enough money to live on before I started offering training. The reality is, teaching you guys takes time. Providing stuff to you guys takes time. And just like you don't want to work for free, I don't want to work for free. I like you guys, but I don't like working for free. So yes, there is a cost for the training, but guys, I'm telling you, it is less than what you will make in one day of being a signing agent. And this is the training that you need to become productive and profitable. This is the training that you need to not waste years trying to figure it out like I did. I already figured it out. You don't have to remake the wheel. Just go through the training that I have for you so that you can be successful. You are very welcome, guys. I hope that this information helps. Let's see. I'm not sure if you're talking about your YouTube membership, you're going to have to check the YouTube help. I need more information. You're trying to change your email on what? I'm not sure. So, but if it is a YouTube membership, there should be a help button for YouTube in order for you to be able to change that email address. Do I have a scanner or mobile scanner that I would recommend? The one that I use is, they don't make it anymore, because I've had mine for years. So I don't have one that I necessarily recommend. I always tell people, do your research, look and see if it has the features that you want. So like I was explaining earlier, can it differentiate between letter and legal size pages? And then also, your budget is going to determine what the best scanner or mobile scanner is for you. If your budget is only $150, then you need to find the best one within that range. My budget for a mobile scanner may be $500, and I may think that that's the best scanner in the world, but that's not in your budget. So there is no one best scanner. There's no one best printer. It all depends on your budget. And then within your budget, make sure that you find the best one that you can. Is there state-specific training? No, because I'm telling you, these mortgage documents are not state-specific per se. Different states may add 1 or 2 different documents in a package, but I've done loan signings for properties in states all across the country. And you know what? It's the same documents. It's the same notice of right to cancel, closing disclosure, note, payment letter, deed. You don't need to know anything state specific to be able to give a general description of the documents and to be able to point things out in the documents. Now, again, in your state, you may have 1 or 2 forms that another state may not have, but it's not that big a deal. It really, really isn't. My training is good for people in every state because it's going to tell you the basics that you need to get started with any package, any state, anywhere. Let's see. You took 1 course. Do I have more training? So, Gail, I don't know what you took, But if you were in my signing agent advanced training program, I've got my Ron training, and then I've got my executive level, my exclusive level, and my elite level. Click the link down in the description box to go to my website, and it will tell you the difference between all of the levels. And then if you do have any other questions, you can email me. My email address is signingagentbasics@gmail.com. So if you've got any questions about the training, email me at signingagentbasics@gmail.com. What equipment do I set up at the signing table in a home? You don't have to set up equipment. The only thing you need is the documents, pens, your notary stamp, and your notary journal. That is all you need. Now, if you choose to purchase a mobile scanner or a mobile printer, you can. I generally don't scan at the signer's table. I will go somewhere else to scan. I don't do that at the signer's table just because I don't want to be in these people's houses any longer than I need to be. I will get in my car and head to a Starbucks or a McDonald's or something like that and do my scans from there, or even just do it in my car. But you don't set up a bunch of equipment for a signing. You just need the documents, you need pens, notary journal, notary stamp. That's all you need. You don't have to set a whole bunch of stuff up. All righty, guys. Ran a little bit long today, but you guys had a lot of great questions. I love it. If you do have any other questions, again, make sure that you put them down in the comment section. Make sure that you come to the YouTube video, to the description box to download the script and all of the other freebies that I have for you. We are There we go. I disappeared for a moment, but I am back. But guys, again, thank you so much for joining, and make sure that you join again next month. I'm going to have another great session with something fabulous to tell you. I don't even know what I'm going to tell you next month, but it is going to be something fabulous. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. I was excited to hang out with you guys today, and I cannot wait to see you next month. Have a productive and profitable day. Bye, guys.